to the Fearlessly Fertile podcast, the Miracle Papas special. Loves, this is a very special presentation of the Fearlessly Fertile podcast because we have just stacks of interviews with fearlessly fertile miracle papas. You love to hear the stories of my miracle mamas from all over the world, and you are going to have the opportunity to share in just the incredible generosity that some of the miracle papas have decided to share with us, because we all know this journey as women because we're living it, but we don't often get to hear from our men and what men are thinking, what men are doing kind of in the background, and what it feels like from their perspective. And as much as this journey is a shared experience for a couple, it's also a deeply personal one. So, in this series, you're going to be hearing from some of the male half of the Miracle Mama stories, and it's just such a delight. So, I hope that you are able to listen to these episodes with your partner. Maybe it'll spark some conversation, get your inspiration up, and really light that fire that this desire in your heart to be a mom and a family is there because it was meant for you. So here is a special presentation with yet another miracle papa. Claudio, I am so excited to have you on the podcast.
Hello, Rosanna. Hello, everybody.
I'm just so excited because, well, you guys just had another baby.
Yeah, yeah. You can see it from my face, I think. The lack of sleep, the lack of haircut, and everything else.
Oh,
Just
no, but
yeah. I mean, I think the time is that kind of time, when it's the first month. But that's what I.
but can you believe you went from having no sons to two?
I was always sure we
Well,
were going to
let's
get
talk
there.
about that. Let's talk about that because, so many women on this journey tell me that they're afraid and they're working through it, but their husband or partner is like, no, I'm sure. So what
Well,
made you sure?
I don't know. I guess there's not much that we can do about it. That kind of process is really takes a lot of energy from the women, and I guess the best we can do is just being extremely optimistic about it. But and try to give like good vibes. I mean it when I say I was almost sure because of the effort. I believe when you really want something and you put a lot of effort, like Marina put that effort. I mean, if she put that effort into becoming U.S. president, she would do it. That kind of commitment she had. And she really made me think, and I wasn't sure, but if you really believe in something and you go all the way for it, you can achieve everything and everything. And she is really the best example of that.
She
And
she is an extraordinary woman, Claudio. You are a very lucky man.
I mean, you don't know her very well, first, maybe, but it's what she did about the pregnancy is unique because we have met other people in the process because Marina also got in touch with other people. And when she told her story to other women, she said, no, no, you should be crazy. I mean, I would have give up way before that. And at one point, I was supportive in for her in any decision she would make. So if she wanted to quit, I would. I mean, it was fine for me in the sense that she did already so much, and nobody can blame her for not trying, But then she said, no, no, I'm not. You don't understand. You don't understand, Claudio. Until I have one single leg left, I'm gonna try. And in what matter of fact, not just maybe no matter. She said it in a way that I was sure she was trying until the very end, and that's when I realized we were gonna do it because that kind of effort and that kind of strength and commitment deserve a positive outcome. I believe when like there is some justice in the world. I don't know, you can believe in whatever, but there is justice. So if you really put so much, you get back. You have to get back.
Wow. What were some of the things? I mean, I believe you. I agree with you 100%. What were some of the things that you were thinking in your head? I know that you're optimistic and you could have, if she wanted to quit, fine, whatever. But were there some of the things that you were thinking about this journey? Was this stressing you out?
Uh, everything. I mean, it is a stressful situation for the couple, particularly because in the end, if you are in the process because you really want to have a kid, so it's not something you take lightly. It's something that you really care about. So when the things are not going the way you want them to go, then it's tough. It's tough. The quality of a relationship is uh, a lot of ups and downs, because a lot of mood swings, a lot of disappointments. So in the end, you stop enjoying also your life, right? Sometimes you think like, wow. And that's when I try to, you know, sometimes you feel like there isn't the right thing to say. So whatever you're saying is not going to be the right thing. So I try to stay just to support in any possible way, accept that the the wife I used to have some days were not she wasn't there because she was going through so much. So you have to accept that maybe she wasn't the best version of herself as a wife or as a woman, let's say. But that's because of the, in the end, an ultimate goal of happiness for the family. I think we're getting there. I mean, the two kids are super fun. They bring so much joy now. So in the end, I think it turned out to be great.
Yeah.
But it wasn't easy. I mean, Marina, me, she reshuffled their life several times because she tried in Italy, then she moved, then she did a lot of things like anything. She didn't want to leave any avenue unattempted. So from medicine to psychology to coaching to everything. Yeah.
How did you, Claudio, take care of yourself? Because it's very different experience for the man, right? You see this beautiful woman that you married. At times she seems depressed, other times she might seem crazy. So how did you take care of yourself? Because I know this must have been difficult for you as well. As difficult as it was for Marina, I'm certain in your own way it was difficult for you.
It was. To be honest, we are a bit different than the average couple that you might, because we come from different countries, they are not more than that, different continents. And most of the process happened during COVID time. So let's say at least the first part of it, because Marcello was born beginning 23. So the positive result happened some point during 2022. So 2021 wasn't like the most average year for the planet. So we spent a lot of time apart. I was in Italy while she was in Brazil, uh, trying. So I was living in a thing in a kind of a detached way. So it was a little bit, no, because I wasn't living day to day ups and downs that I mentioned. Well, I did experience that before when we were training in Italy, and we were so new into the process that it wasn't so stressful. So the thing is that you feel like the clock ticking a little bit. So in the beginning, we were just okay. Let's just try another time. It's gonna be fine. Everybody says it's gonna take a few attempts to succeed. But then nothing was going to happen. And when it was a bit very stressful, like were feeling like we were running out of strategies, it was when I wasn't so close to her because she was in Brazil and I was most of the time in Italy working, and the travel was restricted and I couldn't really spend time in Brazil myself. So that I don't know. Maybe it helped. Maybe it helped. The kind she was. It was a complete change of environment for her. Also because she stopped living with me. She started living more with my parents again. Maybe that helped. I don't know. It was like really starting from scratch again for her. Uh, Maybe I was a source of stress because for some reason she never mentioned, but just like guessing, So having me a little bit far away, don't know. We don't know. The truth is we don't know. Just works.
Well, and did you talk to your guy friends about this? I mean, like, do guys in Italy talk to each other about things like this, or?
No, no, I didn't, but not because I didn't want. No, it never happened. Actually, no. It's not the first to answer your question straight away. Before we started our journey, it wasn't something I have ever discussed because it wasn't in our circle of friends. It wasn't all no one sharing. But then yeah, then when it happened to us, Marina, she wanted for us to be very private about it. For I think a little bit because she didn't want to deal with sympathy during failures, which I agree. Although she was a bit obsessed with that, being a bit more relaxed, but still, with respect to their decision. So I didn't talk to anybody, mostly because of that. Mostly because, but I wouldn't have, I mean, I do believe it's a bit tough to communicate failure, not to say, okay, if you are very open about it and then it doesn't happen, then you feel a bit like the pity of the people, or you think you see pity in the other people's eyes. Maybe there isn't, but sometimes it's better just not to share.
Yeah, that's actually a very important point that you're making. It is one thing to share, but I don't want your pity. You don't want pity from
Yeah.
anybody.
No, really, you don't. And in the end, now we are helping a couple of friends with that are going through the same process. Still, they are more open. Still, when they come back and say, "Look, it didn't work out," it doesn't happen, but you feel a little bit for them. So it's part of of caring, but at the same time, if you don't know, you don't know. So, but I believe many people are in this situation that you see couples with no kids and say, oh, maybe, and that's when I started also stop asking about the people, why are you not getting kids or you don't want kids, because what's was like a kind of a common question in Italy. If you are a few years into your wet marriage and you're kidless and so, but when are you gonna plan for one, and then maybe they're going through something. So now I'm way more careful when in asking those kind of questions.
You
And
know,
even if you ask, you never get the real answer.
well, and it's funny, Claudio, because that's such a good point too. Is after living this journey, you're much more careful about asking that
So
question so casually. Like,
100%,
you never know what you're walking into. Well,
100%.
so what did you think when Marina said that she was going to be coaching on mindset with this wild, foul-mouthed American former prosecutor? If she even told you.
No, she told me after she was already into the process because of course, I would have supported it. Of course, would have supported it. But as I said, she was in Brazil at the time, and she said, like, I hired the coach or I entered the program. I don't remember something like that. I said, well, you did. I think you did the right thing. She, but I wasn't at that point. The fact that really we were so into trying everything that I thought it was great. But if maybe 2 years before, right, I would have said, no, but we don't need that. In the beginning, you said, oh, but we don't need anything. I think it's just a matter of trying a bit more. Then in the end, I think it was the best thing that happened to her. I really
Mhm.
believe he was. I think he was, and not because and we are. And I'm not like a kind of person who recommend coaching for everything to everybody. It's something me personally, I haven't done any kind of coaching, and maybe I should start. I don't know, maybe I should just pick a topic and start a coaching program, some weakness of mine, and do that because it works. The
Wow.
only thing, yeah, the thing with coaching, there is a lot of people now around doing this kind of stuff. About anything, person motivation, sales, you name it, no. And the difficult part for me maybe would be to assess the quality of a coaching itself. But in the end, the quality of a coaching is really it worked. It worked. So it was a great coach. So I
Exactly.
never doubted the coaching. And from day one, she changed. From day one, she
Really? What
changed.
did you notice?
No, and not she really regained energy. She started thinking differently. She started really acting differently regarding that. Really brought new positivity to the thing. And I think it really happened because it was when she started from scratch again in Brazil. So maybe if that wasn't the case, I don't know. But it was the perfect timing when she really left a lot of things that were not working back in Italy. She started from scratch in Brazil, and in Brazil she started with you and some other working on some other soft, say, let's call soft stuff more than the hardcore medicine treatments and stuff. It was a mindset switch, and in the end it worked.
Yeah, well, but you're bringing up a really good point because she made a decision that something had to change. So it always starts with the woman, of course.
Mm.
Like that, it begins and ends with her. And of course, you would want a coach that has a proven track record because you're right. Anybody could say that they're a coach. Look at the track record, right? Look, do they have success? Have they created the success that you want to create? I think that's really smart. And I'm really happy to hear from your perspective that you saw a change in her and quickly.
Very quickly.
Wow. Well, because very shortly afterwards, she did another, I think, couple cycles in Brazil. And then when she got pregnant, she had a fever. I'm sure you know that story.
Of course,
And, well, and that could have scared anybody because anyone who has a fever, they'd be like, oh, it's over. It's over. It couldn't work.
both times she had like one was the fever, but I think there is something in this. You know better than me. There is something in this process which is really not straightforward. Like disease and you can drive and this thing is not. You can do everything right, and then things that should put you in jeopardy, and then things happen, and because there is a little bit of a deal for you. It's a miracle of life. So in the end, we were she was very better. She was a bit negative because I thought, no, so that's exactly when I think I'm pregnant, and then I have this fever, 4 days in bed, coughing. Like she was a bit not depressed, but she was saying, "Oh man, maybe it's not my time." But let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. And in the end, it turned out to be great. So
Well,
crazy,
and
crazy. I mean, I think it's also crazy when you tell when when you're able to tell a story and everything like that. Now we can laugh about it, but it was stressful. It was, I tell you.
well, yeah, and look at you today, two healthy
Yeah,
boys.
yeah.
Like,
The second was really a walk in the park because in the second it came so quickly, and then she didn't have to go through another period, so it was a walk in the park. And I think it there's a lot to do because with the fact that first, well, yeah, the same member come from the same batch, so that was really a great batch, and that was during, I mean, everything that she's done, and then also the stressful level she had was a bit less because you still have, you feel like even if it fails, I still have one, so The second was just a blessing for me.
Yeah. Wow.
But I mean, it
Wow.
makes a lot of the difference. I mean, we always wanted to. I mean, in the end, I still want. I think I want 3 or 4 now. But then that's it. But I think Marina doesn't agree with us.
You
No,
need a daughter now. Claudio,
yeah,
you want to be a girl dad.
I'm not sure.
The bambina. You want a
Good.
bambina.
I think Marina is down with me. Maybe who knows? Maybe.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Claudio, for sharing your experience. It's very kind and it's very generous because I think this is a perspective that not everyone gets to hear. And I think sometimes our men can suffer in silence and they don't know what to do. They think they're going crazy and they're sometimes skeptical about the
Yeah,
help that their wives are getting. But
yeah,
you saw firsthand that when Marina makes the decision that she's going to be successful, she's
yeah.
going to be successful.
No, but I see why men. Sorry to interrupt. I
Oh,
see why
please.
some men can reach a point and say stop trying. Which before I thought, well, a man should say that, because in the end we are not doing much. But just the process and the frustration and the fact that you are really giving a little bit on your wife for a while because she's gonna be. I see why men at one point say, "Oh, look, stop, don't do it to yourself, back to yourself. It's just that it didn't happen. Okay, let's move on." So I see men doing. It was never my case. I was
Right.
just the only thing that I said to Marina, but then I said once, I saw a reaction and I didn't think anymore. I said, "Oh, if you want to stop, I'm not going to be the one insisting because that's why, I mean, that's I think the worst thing you can do as a man because, of course, for you, it's super easy also to say, oh, let's keep trying. Because in the end, there's nothing much. While for a woman, keep trying means a lot of going through a lot of medication, a lot of stress still. So for one, it's not recommending anything because if pushing would have been really unfair, pushing to go for more, and she didn't need it. It would be a bad unfair. And suggesting she should stop, also she wouldn't because she made it very clear. So for me, it was just about supporting during the ups and downs, listening to her. She wanted somebody to share things, some things that I couldn't do anything about it, like what kind of treatment she was going through and stuff like that. I was interested, of course, but not at the same level she was. But she needed somebody to because she didn't want to share it with a lot of people. She only had me, so I was the one she had to turn to share there, and you just become a good listener.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's also, I mean, that's also reasons why women bring in a person like me because at some point, if your man sees you suffering all the time, he's going to want you to stop because he doesn't
Yeah,
want you to be miserable. And
yeah.
so I think
So
it's
sometimes the man thinks if you tell her to stop, that you have to stop, you're helping her. Because sometimes you feel like, oh, maybe if I tell her to stop, she will stop, and then she can. But in the end, I think it's more a woman decision. I mean, the man in that process can only be supportive, but the woman, if she want to be a mother, she's gonna be a mother. No
yeah.
matter. She would do it without me. I'm sure.
Oh my goodness. Well, we love you, Claudio. I love the Italian sense of humor and I can't yeah, I am looking forward to giving you a hug in Italy this summer. I just think it's very kind and very generous. Thank you so much for sharing and your insight. It's a beautiful thing. Will you please hug Marina and the boys for me?
Of course, of course. Well, you will do it yourself soon, quite soon.
Yes, yeah. Well, have a wonderful night, Claudio. Thank you again, and
Thank
we
you,
really
Roseanne.
appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Hey, loves, wasn't that Miracle Papa interview just absolutely fantastic? Didn't you just want to hug him? I want to hug all of these Miracle Papas. So you've got to know that this mindset work that you're doing isn't just about you. It's about your mind, it's about your body, it's about your baby, it's about your partner, it's about this family that you desire with all of your heart. So if you want me to teach you what I taught this miracle papa's lady, go to my website, www.frommaybe2baby.com, and apply for an interview there. My Fearlessly Fertile Method programs are helping women around the world make their mom dreams come true. And their results, as you can see here, speak for themselves, because if you don't have a mindset for success in this journey, baby, what are you doing? All the treatments, diets, lotions, potions, yoga poses you might be doing are not going to do anything without you. And it all starts here. So go to www.frommaybe2baby.com. Till next time, change your mindset, change your results. Hey love, are you trying every treatment, diet, lotion, potion, and yoga pose you can get your hands on and still not getting and staying pregnant? Are you doing all the things that people tell you to do, but nothing is working? If that's you, I'm so glad you're here. Here's what you've got to know. There is a huge piece of the fertility puzzle that even the most conscientious, smart, and well-intentioned women miss. I know this for a fact because I lived this journey. A few years ago, I was in that same exact situation. My name is Roseanne Austin, creator of the Fearlessly Fertile Method. I struggled with fertility for 7 years while juggling my career as a successful trial attorney. There wasn't a supplement I wouldn't try or treatment I wouldn't consider. I was used to working hard for what I wanted, but when it came to my struggle with fertility, it seemed like I just couldn't get anything to work. Then, I did something that changed the course of my fertility journey. I had to take a long, hard look at the way I was living. You see, it's true I was eating clean, eliminating toxins, and even twisting myself into a pretzel doing fertility yoga. But I was completely missing how toxic my mindset had become. I was consumed with so much fear, negativity, and doubt. I was comparing myself to every pregnant woman I saw. I tortured myself with what ifs and beat myself up constantly. My mindset was a mess. Then it dawned on me, did it make any sense to be eating clean and having state-of-the-art fertility treatments while the whole time my negative mindset was setting me up for failure? Absolutely not. Science consistently proves the power of the mind-body connection in healing and optimal health. If you're serious about covering your bases and making sure you are doing everything you can to support your fertility success, so you don't have to look back on this time in your life with regret, you simply can't afford to ignore your mindset. We are taught to put so much emphasis on the physical that we completely overlook what's going on in our mind. What you think and believe is the foundation of your choices and action, therefore it impacts your results. With couples investing an average of $60,000 on fertility treatments to get a positive result, it doesn't make much sense to have the most powerful resource you have, your mind, working against you. When I changed my thoughts and beliefs on this journey, I went from years of fertility treatment failure and basically being told I had zero chance of success to having my miracle baby boy naturally at 43, when medicine had given up on me. I've taught thousands of women around the world about this missing piece of the fertility puzzle. My clients and I are living proof of what's possible when mind and body are working for you. My clients have beaten single-digit odds and have gone on to get pregnant in the face of PCOS, endometriosis, low ovarian reserve, repeated IVF cycles, donor egg cycles, and advanced maternal age. My clients have even gotten pregnant naturally after IVF failures. Women from the ages of 26 to 50 have used my methodology to finally achieve fertility success. Think about how much different a day on your fertility journey would be if you could approach it with confidence, calm, and certainty. Yes, certainty. With my method, you'll learn how to think, believe, and take action like a woman who succeeds on this journey, so you can finally be the woman who succeeded. I want the success my clients and I achieved for you too, love. That's why I've poured my years of experience coaching women around the world to fertility success into writing my best-selling book, Am I the reason I'm not getting pregnant? The Fearlessly Fertile method for clearing the blocks between you and your baby. We are going to do in this book. I'm going to share a logical and linear approach to mindset on this journey that is wildly different from the impractical fluff we sometimes hear about mindset. We're going to unpack each of the critical steps. I've written this book for women who are committed to success on this journey. Smart, big-hearted, goal-oriented women like you and me who are doing all the physical things and now want to be 100% sure their mindset isn't creating a block between them and their baby. This is your chance to feel confident again, calm again, and dare I say free to smile again as you live this journey. Something so good is coming for you, love. To claim your copy, all you have to do is click here now to download yours.